The Mustang's debut year was filled with secrets, rare options, racing specials, and forgotten trims that most people never knew existed. Some were built in only dozens, others vanished from memory until collectors started fighting over them. These 1965 Mustangs prove that hidden legends often outshine the ones everyone remembers. Top 1 1965 Shelby GT350R Competition R model. Forget comfort, forget chrome. This was the Mustang stripped bare for war. The 1965 Shelby GT350R, better known as the R model, wasn't built for daily drives. It was born for one purpose: to dominate racetracks. With just 36 produced, it's one of the rarest and most valuable Mustangs ever made. Carroll Shelby transformed the already potent Mustang Fastback into a purebred racer. Engineers gutted everything unnecessary: rear seats, carpeting, insulation, even the rear quarter glass. Fiberglass replaced steel for the hood and other panels. Inside, a roll bar, racing harnesses, competition tachometer, and bucket seats replaced luxury. The result was a lightweight shell designed to maximize performance. Under the hood lay the heart of the beast, Ford's 289 cubic inch K-Code V8, blueprinted and tuned to deliver more than 350 horsepower, far above the standard Mustang's ratings. Paired with a 4-speed manual and heavy-duty suspension, the R model rocketed from 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds and could run the quarter mile in the low 13th. For 1965, those numbers were devastating. Externally, widened wheel arches, a scooped hood, plexiglass windows, and side-exit exhaust pipes gave the car a menacing stance. The shock wasn't just its speed, it was Shelby's intent. The GT350R wasn't a consumer-friendly sports car. It was homologated specifically for SCCA BPH production racing. Buyers weren't getting a toy, they were purchasing a race-ready weapon straight from the factory. This was a radical idea, a Mustang that never pretended to be civil. On track, the remodel dominated. Drivers like Jerry Titus piloted it to victory after victory, giving Mustang credibility far beyond its pony car image. Collectors today see it as the holy grail. Auction results have exceeded $3 million. With only 36 built, it is rarer than Ferraris of the era, and even replicas command respect. But not every collectible 1965 Mustang was forged in competition. Some earned their place in history by leading America's greatest race, the Indianapolis 500, where Ford turned its pony into a symbol of national pride. Top 2 1965 Ford Mustang Indy 500 Pace Car Edition. By 1965, the Mustang was no longer just Ford's bold experiment, it was a cultural rocket. Its popularity exploded so quickly that it landed the most coveted spotlight in American motoring, pacing the Indianapolis 500. That honor spawned a limited run of Pace Car Edition Mustangs, each carrying the prestige of America's greatest race. The official pace car was a Wimbledon white Mustang convertible, powered by the 289 cubic inch V8. To commemorate, Ford built roughly 185 replica convertibles and around 200 hardtops for dealerships nationwide. All wore Wimbledon white paint with blue rocker stripes and official pace car decal. Inside, the Pace Car Edition elevated Mustang's game. Embossed pony interior trim, wood grain accents, and full instrumentation gave the cabin a premium feel. Under the hood, most carried the 289 V8, producing between 225 and 271 horsepower, depending on spec. Paired with a 4-speed manual or automatic, these cars could sprint to 60 in under 8 seconds, quick for the mid-60s. More than performance, though, the Pace Car Edition was about prestige. The twist is how these marketing specials transformed into collectibles. Limited production and heavy dealership use meant few survived in pristine condition. Today, the rarity is striking. Fewer than 400 replicas total. Collectors prize them not just for their Indy connection, but for exclusivity. Auction results show restored examples bringing well into the six-figure range, often $120,000 to $160,000 depending on condition. What began as a dealership promotion has become one of the most valuable and overlooked 1965 Mustang variants. For collectors, owning one is like holding a ticket to history. It isn't just a Mustang, it's a link to the pageantry of the Indy 500 and a symbol of how quickly the pony car conquered America. Survivors are cherished, restored with painstaking detail, and rarely offered for sale. But while the pace car edition earned its stripes on a grand stage, another Mustang of 1965 proved that Shelby's racing DNA could be tamed just enough for the street. The first Shelby GT350 built for public roads. Top 3. 1965 Shelby GT350 Street. If the GT350R was the untamed beast, the 1965 Shelby GT350 Street model was its more civilized twin. Civilized only by comparison. This car was still raw, still loud, and still more machine than comfort. Against it, the standard Mustang GT looked like a friendly pony standing beside a racehorse. About 562 GT350 street models were built in 1965, all starting as Wimbledon white Mustang Fastbacks before heading to Shelby's workshop in Los Angeles. Under the hood, Ford's 289 cubic inch Hypo K-Code V8 received a Holley 4-barrel carburetor, aluminum intake, and free-flow exhaust. Power rose to 306 horsepower, 35 more than the stock Hypo, and it was paired with a Borg-Warner T10 4-speed. Performance was blistering for the era, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds and quarter miles in the mid-14s. The suspension was stiffened, brakes were upgraded, and handling became sharper than any stock Mustang. On the outside, optional Lamont stripes, functional side scoops, and unique badging set it apart. Inside, Shelby stripped the rear seat for a fiberglass shelf, added a roll bar, a Cobra tachometer, and a wood-rimmed wheel. It was Spartan, purposeful, and unapologetically noisy. Here lies the twist. The GT350 Street wasn't simply a performance car, it became one of the most collectible Shelbys. While not as rare as the R model, 562 units is still a low figure. Today, collectors fight over pristine examples. At auction, prices regularly stretch into $300,000 to $400,000, with the most original cars surpassing $500,000. This car blurred the line between street and track, and its market value proves just how desirable that formula remains. The GT350 Street cemented Mustang's legitimacy in the performance world. It gave buyers a taste of competition-level engineering in a package they could actually drive daily, though daily often meant living with stiff suspension and rattling exhaust. It turned Shelby from a racing constructor into a cultural brand. But not every collectible Mustang of 1965 was bred for competition. Some were quirky factory oddities, like the rare Convertible fitted with a front bench seat, a forgotten option that now commands curiosity among collectors. Top 4 1965 Ford Mustang Convertible with front bench seat, 76C. Some collectibles aren't born from speed or trophies, but from sheer rarity. The 1965 Mustang Convertible, with the front bench seat option body code 76C, looked ordinary at first glance, yet today this oddball configuration is one of the rarest and most intriguing forgotten Mustangs, sparking bidding wars among determined collectors. Most 1965 Mustangs came with bucket seats as standard, but Ford quietly offered a front bench seat option, appealing to buyers who wanted a family-friendly Mustang. On paper, it allowed 3 passengers up front, though in practice the middle spot was cramped. Out of more than 550,000 Mustangs built in 1965, only a tiny fraction were ordered with the bench seat, and fewer still as convertible. Mechanically, these cars were no different from their bucket seat siblings. Buyers could choose anything from the 200 cubic inch inline 6 to the potent 289 V8. Horsepower ranged from 120 to 271 depending on the engine. With the top down, it was still the stylish Mustang that symbolized freedom in the mid-60s. Inside, however, the bench option gave it a quirky look, a continuous cushion, fold-down center armrest, and a column shifter if paired with an automatic. This subtle change transformed the vibe from sporty to almost formal. The twist came decades later. Because so few were produced, estimated at well under 100 convertibles, the bench seat Mustang became a unicorn in the collector world. Survivors are incredibly scarce, and when they surface, they command impressive premiums. Restored examples have crossed auction blocks in the $60,000 to $90,000 range, not because of performance, but because of extreme rarity. What was once an overlooked option sheet box has become a treasure. For collectors, the 76C Convertible represents Mustang history at its quirkiest, a blend of practicality and style that never really caught on. Its value today proves that sometimes the strangest factory orders become the most desirable. But rarity wasn't always about seats or trim. Some Mustangs hid luxury within speed, like the 1965 Fastback equipped with the upscale Pony Interior package, a blend of elegance and performance collectors now chase feverishly. Top 5. 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback with luxury pony. Interior, 63B. The 1965 Mustang Fastback is already one of the most desirable body styles ever built, but when paired with the rare luxury pony interior option, body code 63B, it became something more, an elegant blend of performance and refinement that made ordinary Mustangs look like bare-bones commuters. The Fastback itself was an icon, sweeping roofline, sculpted rear glass, and aggressive stance. Under the hood, buyers could spec anything from the modest 200 cubic inch inline-six to the high-performance K-Code 289 V8 delivering 271 horsepower. Performance numbers varied, but a K-Code Fastback with a 4-speed could reach 60 in about 7 seconds and run the quarter mile in the mid-15s. What set the 63B apart was inside. The luxury pony interior package added embossed running horse designs on the seatbacks, wood grain appliques on the dash, special door panels with bright trim, and a 5-gauge instrument cluster. Chrome accents sparkled across the cabin, while options like a rally pack tachometer and clock gave the driver real sports car flair. Unlike the stripped Shelby GT350S, this Mustang offered comfort and class without sacrificing speed. The twist is that while Ford sold over 77,000 Fastbacks in 1965, only a small percentage received the luxury 63B interior. That scarcity makes them highly sought after today. Collectors prize examples with K-Code engines and original pony interiors intact. Auction prices regularly reach $70,000 to $100,000, with Concours-quality K-Code pony Fastbacks stretching beyond 6 figures. What was once an optional trim upgrade has become a major driver of collector value. For enthusiasts, the 63B Fastback proved the Mustang could be more than a youth market car. It showed that Ford understood buyers wanted both performance and refinement. Today, it's a reminder that muscle and luxury weren't mutually exclusive in the mid-60s. But while luxury made one Mustang special, pure performance made another legendary. Few options excited collectors more than the K-Code 289 high-performance engine A factory powerhouse that turned any 1965 Mustang body style into a legitimate street racer. Top 6. 1965 Ford Mustang K-Code 289 high performance. In 1965, most Mustangs were stylish commuters, but the K-Code 289 high-performance models were different. Whether coupe, convertible, or fastback, these cars carried Ford's fiercest small-block V8. To collectors today, the K-Code isn't just an option, it's the heartbeat of Mustang performance history. The K-Code engine was a 289 cubic inch V8 rated at 271 horsepower. It featured a solid lifter camshaft, heavy-duty pistons, high-flow heads, and a 4-barrel carburetor. A dual-point ignition ensured reliable spark at high revs, while a 6,000 RPM redline pushed it far beyond the standard Mustang engines. With a 4-speed manual and 3.891 gears, 0 to 60 came in the low 7-second range, with quarter miles in the mid-15s serious numbers for 1965. Externally, K-Code Mustangs were nearly invisible. A small, high-performance 289 badge on the fender was the only clue. Inside, buyers could order any trim from basic vinyl benches to luxury pony interiors, making K-Codes as varied as they were potent. Ford offered the package across all 3 body styles, but production was rare. Out of more than 550,000 Mustangs built in 1965, only about 7,273 carried the Coco option. That scarcity transformed the K-Code into a legend. Collectors chased them relentlessly, especially when combined with desirable trims like fastback bodies or GT packages. Restored examples regularly sell in the $80,000 to $120,000 range, while pristine, documented cars with original drivetrains often surpass $150,000. For what was once a $276 upgrade, the K-Code has become a 6-figure ticket into Mustang royalty. The K-Code proved Mustang wasn't just a style icon, it could be a legitimate performance car. It laid the foundation for the Shelby GT350 and cemented Ford's role in America's muscle era. For collectors, owning a K-Code means holding a crucial chapter of Mustang's evolution. Yet rarity wasn't limited to engines. Ford also experimented with unusual seating, producing hardtops with the rare front bench seat option, an oddity that now drives collectors into fierce competition. Top 7, 1965, Ford Mustang hardtop with front bench seat, 65C. When you picture a classic Mustang, you imagine bucket seats, a floor shifter, and sporty flair, but in 1965, Ford quietly offered something unusual, the front bench seat hardtop, body code 65C. To the casual eye, it looked ordinary, but today it's one of the most forgotten and collectible curiosities of Mustang history. The hardtop was the best-selling Mustang body style in 1965, with hundreds of thousands produced. Yet the bench seat option was almost never ordered. Instead of two buckets, the front row became a continuous cushion, with a fold-down armrest that doubled as a divider. With an automatic transmission, the shifter moved to the steering column, giving the interior a more traditional, almost family car appearance. Mechanically, nothing set the 65C apart. Buyers could spec anything from the thrifty 200 cubic inch inline-six to the potent K-Code 289 V8. Horsepower ranged from 182 to 271 depending on the engine. Performance varied just as widely. A six-cylinder bench seat Mustang was leisurely, while a K-Code bench seat hardtop could surprise at a stoplight. But what made the car fascinating was the juxtaposition. It was a Mustang dressed like a sedan. The twist is that so few were ordered that the 65C became exceptionally rare. Out of over 550,000 Mustangs built in 1965, estimates suggest only a few hundred carried the bench seat option, and documented survivors are scarce. This rarity fuels collector demand today. At auction, even modestly optioned 65C hardtops can command $40,000 to $60,000, with higher prices for V8-equipped or fully restored examples. The market proves that sometimes the oddities overshadow the mainstream in value. For collectors, the 65C symbolizes Ford's willingness to experiment, even if buyers largely ignored the option. It stands today as one of the most unusual factory configurations, treasured precisely because of its forgotten status. And while the bench seat hardtop was quirky, another Mustang of 1965 took performance more seriously, the GT with the Equipment Group, a package that transformed the pony car into a true grand tourer. Top 8, 1965 Ford Mustang GT, GT Equipment Group. By 1965, the Mustang was already America's sweetheart, but Ford knew it needed more than style to silence critics. The answer was the GT Equipment Group, a package that transformed the Mustang into a legitimate performer. The GT badge meant business and made every standard Mustang look like a Pretender XX. The GT package could be ordered on coupes, fastbacks, and convertibles. Externally, it featured fog lamps integrated into the grille, GT stripes, and special badging. Dual exhaust with bright chrome tips and styled steel wheels gave it a more aggressive stance. Inside, buyers found a 5-dial instrument cluster, wood grain trim, and optional rally pack tachometer and clock, emphasizing the car's performance credentials. Under the hood, the GT wasn't just looks. It came standard with the 225 horsepower, 289 cubic inch V8, but buyers could upgrade to the high-performance K-Code 289, producing 271 horsepower. Coupled with a 4-speed manual, heavy-duty suspension, and front disc brakes, the GT delivered sharper handling and stronger stopping power than any base Mustang. 0 to 60 times dropped into the low 7-second range, and quarter miles could be run in the mid-15s respectable numbers that justified the badge. The twist is that while many Mustangs wore stripes and badges over the years, genuine 1965 GTs are surprisingly rare. Precise numbers are unclear, but estimates suggest only about 15,000 GTs were produced that year, a fraction of total Mustang output. Authenticity matters. True GTs bring significant premiums at auction. Well-documented examples with K-Code engines and original components routinely fetch $80,000 to $120,000, with Concours-level restorations climbing higher. What was once a performance option is now a collector's prize. The GT proved Mustang could blend mass appeal with real performance. It bridged the gap between everyday drivers and Shelby's race-bred monsters, ensuring the Mustang's reputation as more than a fashionable commuter. For many collectors, the GT represents the sweet spot of rarity, drivability, and value. The 1965 Mustang GT closes the story with authority. It showed that, even in the car's first full year, Ford could craft a version that balanced speed, style, and collectability, securing its place as one of the most enduring classics of the muscle era. From competition-bred Shelbys to quirky bench-seat oddities, these 8 forgotten 1965 Mustangs prove that collectability comes in many forms: rarity, racing pedigree, or simply being different. Each carries a unique story that fuels today's bidding wars and preserves the Mustang's place in history. Which of these hidden gems surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your Mustang memories. And if you want more stories of rare muscle cars and collector legends, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next episode on Muscle Cars Revolution.